You see, once we understand or we begin to get the idea of who God is, then we begin to know and understand who we are. And there is the problem. All the while man is trying to understand man, and he's delving into this so-called evolution, which I call devolution, he becomes more and more confused. But when you bring God upon the agenda, when you begin to acknowledge God, then we begin to understand who we are. And this is why we are living now in a godless age and generation. Man's mind is becoming seared, reprobate. He's becoming godless because he is so obsessed with himself. Because he leaves God out of the equation. But the moment we start to acknowledge God, our whole conception and ideas completely change. Now, all of that might sound elementary, but those principles that I have just spoken about, what I have just spoken about is a thread that runs through our everyday life. You have a choice each day whether you are going to make God center or yourself center. We have a choice, and that is why the Lord shows that we are to take up our cross daily and follow him as well as disciples. So not only did he, of course, take up his cross, but we do likewise for the very purpose of what I'm talking about, because then it changes everything, and no longer are you the center, but God is, because God is dealing with the self-life. He's dealing with you. And that is what the cross does. What is the cross for? It is to take up and die upon. That's the nature of the cross. And the Apostle Paul says that we die daily, that the life of Christ may manifest in and through us. And that can only be achieved when God is center of our mind and heart and being 24/7. And that's why I'm calling this teaching today, how big is God in your mind and conception?